All right, Josh, let's talk about this. So this former rapper that calls himself Lord Jamar was a part of the group brand Nubian. Lord Jamar a couple of years ago decided that he wanted to express his belief and knowledge in the earth being flat. Now, there are people that believe the earth is flat and they give you their reasons as to why. People that say the earth is round. The scientists that speak in favor of a round earth, it makes far more sense and explanation as to why it's round and not flat. Okay, to me, anyway. But through all of the debates, through all of these arguments and talks, I have seen debates get heated. I have, seen situations where, name calling and things get heated back and forth, because a lot of these debaters, even though these guys with the knowledge and studying that they put in, you still have people coming up with different understandings and concepts of what they read, right? But it's usually because their egos get scarred more than anything else, because if you think that the earth is flat and you're teaching that, right, and you can be wrong, people feel like you're wrong, and they're speaking to correct your wrong with proof of studies. Well, the flat earthers, the people that believe that, is saying, well, we believe it too. How can you tell us you're wrong? You can't prove it's round no more than we can prove it's flat, right? Okay, I don't do debates because debating, I'm not debating for me. It's about the truth, the logic, and the reasoning. Now, the majority can be right and the majority can be wrong about a situation. But what I will say is, with all of this ego, and people feel some type of way and start name calling, at that point, the debate is dead. Because it's no longer about the debate, it's about your personal anger to someone and your ego, even if you're right. So I have no interest in debates. I saw a debate, it was supposed to be a conversation debate, whatever, where Lord Jamar, was asked what is weight. And he said, it's called like your head on your neck, and he starts insulting the guy because he couldn't answer the question. I don't know if this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar is doing this for attention, or if he truly believes what he's saying. He went on Vlad and several other shows. Terrence Howard at some point was talking about, something, and I don't know, he just basically got clowned. Let me explain something to you guys, man. Like, what's the other guy, the black guy named Neil? I've heard people insult him. I've heard people agree with him, but I've heard people insult him. And I'm going to tell you something. He has far more knowledge than this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar and Terrence Howard. But I notice. Go and check, look into it yourself. Nobody is making tons of videos completely just being disrespectful to someone because of their belief, like they're doing towards how they did towards Terrence Howard, and how they did to this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar. None of them. I've heard people say things about Neil and he doesn't know what he's talking about or whatever, or they disagree, but I mean, let me take them out of it and focus on this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar for this reason. There was a time when rappers had people thinking they were the toughest guys on earth. There was a time that rappers had people standing up with them because they stood up for a good cause. They stood up for the black cause. They basically wanted to be leaders and influencers in a positive way. You have the ones that want to talk about the street life, the street mentality, the gang banging, and all of this other stuff. And it went from being NWA and Ice-T to anybody else who did music that talked about the streets and you know, fuck the police and all of that these were bad people. Until it caught on and people said, hey, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. So where does this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar fall, man? He was one of the positive speakers. But in this day and time, I don't care if you were like Young MC, MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, if you were like Kwame, I don't care what style you were, if you were like NWA, if you were like DMX, whoever you were, whatever you were, however you were, the nerdiest people, the most racist people are walking around laughing at you to your faces, calling you jokes. They've called this man a dunce. They've called this man stupid, ignorant, uneducated. They've called this guy everything that they possibly could. And this guy, Lord Jamar, doesn't do anything. Black people have chimed in. They're not scientists, don't know the first thing about science, but they're taking the side of the people calling this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar an idiot. They're laughing at him. Hey, let's join in. Let's find what other black people we can make fun of. And they're not saying this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar is wrong because we understand science and we know that it can't be flat. No, they're basically saying, let's make fun of other black people. So everybody wants to join our channel because, hey, we're making fun of our own. This guy that calls himself Lord Jamar set up on his podcast and talked about, you must be doing something right. You know, I must be. For a guy that has like 6 million followers and I only have 170 something thousand or whatever, right? Which was a pretty stupid logic. But I'm noticing how nobody has any tough reaction. Are you gonna like walk up and roll up and pull up on all of these white dudes calling you stupid and ignorant, or you're just trying to use whatever the conversation is to help build your own channel? I see whether it's Corey Holcomb, whether it's like any channel. This one guy, I don't remember his name. All this guy does. It's not about pointing out things that black people are doing wrong and trying to, you know, make the point to separate the good from the bad, but just a thing of someone being a coon, right? I see all of these different people who will jump on the bandwagon, ha ha, he, but I never hear them talk anything about anybody that's not black. There's a white comedian who just did a show and it bombed. Someone that made the video said people wanted so bad to like this show, but his jokes was just awful. I checked. Corey Holcomb had nothing to say about him. But every black comedian, even if people are laughing at their shows, laughing at their jokes at their shows, he just has something negative to say. Not because of who they are as people, not because they're carrying themselves in a disrespectful manner, but just because it gets me more attention if I say something about black people in a negative way. So if someone says to you, hey, did you see Mike Epps' show last night? Yeah, Mike Epps is trash. I don't like that nigga, man. Mike Epps is garbage. That nigga don't make me laugh. This is what you get from the black side of things. When I made that comparison to y'all, that example about, not the comparison, but the example about how you got this guy Tony Yayo. He's sitting up here with this guy Murder, disrespecting Ja Rule. Ja Rule going back at them, of course, defending himself. But Ja Rule up here telling, let's shake. And they had one little nerdy white boy who was able to raise his voice, silence these motherfuckers, and have them separated. But y'all gangsters and killers. Y'all tough guys. Let me give y'all a news flash about something. And I learned this when I was a teenager. A young teenager. The people that you think are tough are cowards. I have a gun, therefore I'm tough. Oh, I got goons around me, therefore I'm tough. 10 of us beat up one guy, therefore I'm tough. Nothing tough about these dudes, man. I'm bad about it. I'm about that life. Nigga, find out what it is. Nigga, we gotta get out. Who are they always referencing when they do that? There's violence amongst white people, Asians, Latinos, Native Americans, you name it. Yep, there's violence. You know what I've never seen, though? I've never seen every week for a whole year straight and consistently throughout the years in the news today, a rock star found dead in his own neighborhood. They believe that AC/DC put the hit out on Green Day because of something that happened in 1998. Nope. I don't see trails of blood being left by country music singers going after each other. I've never seen something happen where little by little they're putting the pieces together to find out who's murdering all these river dancers, these river dancers, and come to find out it's the opera team across the street. No, I've never ever heard anybody talk about any genre of music outside of hip hop where insurance is taken out on the artist. The people that you think are tough, I've seen people with my own two eyes and listened with my own two ears and heard them get punked by nerds. Yeah. DMX told a story about they was somewhere doing a show and something went wrong and the promoter started cursing him out. Wait, X, you let a motherfucker curse you out? You dark man X. Why you ain't clap him? Somebody asked me one day, how do you view DMX? I said, what do you mean, how do I view him? He said, like, what do you think about his music? I said, why? Nah, I'm just saying, because I know that you got a great ear for music, man. I know that your pen is sick, too. You know what I'm saying? So let me just explain to y'all how I see DMX. A man that raps about murder. A man that talks about how he like robbing people. A man that brags about the streets, violent situations, and you know, just beefing with niggas. And then 2 songs later, he's praying. Praying for what? And about what? Praying that he's guided in life by a spirit from up above. And that spirit will prevent him from doing what? I asked that question because this is a guy that told his own son, I like to get high. I'm not going to stop getting high. Right? Told his son he's supposed to love him unconditionally. And said, when you say the only way that's going to work is if I stop doing drugs, that's a condition. Right? Everybody want to talk about what God did and how he gave his only begotten son because he forced him, so he loved the world, so all these things. So as a man, you look at your own son who's there to be in your life, wants to be in your life. You know how many men are in a situation, have been in a situation where the mom kept the baby, kept the son, kept the daughter away from their father and made up all these lies about the kid's father, and later on in life the kid met a woman just like his mama, went through the same shit, and then started to think maybe daddy went through this, and then he finally reaches out to his father just to find out that, yeah, your mom's a liar. But I listened to his music. Kill a nigga once for even looking like some shit. I'm okay. Suck my dick. Y'all ain't about shit. Real niggas. Beef, beef, beef. What's the purpose of the prayers? What are you trying to change about yourself? And when you say, I like to get high, that means I don't want or need help. I like to get high. It's a choice. You chose that over your son. So wait a minute. You chose that over your family. You chose to do what you wanted to do over your family. And a lot of men have that, I provide for you motherfuckers. Just take what I give you and shut up and be grateful. I said, from a musical standpoint, since you're asking me, he just makes music. Beats, tracks be on point. You know, some of the shit that, you know, overall, just the songs, yeah, you can get into it. I said, but I mean, overall, he's just a guy that makes songs that I felt like was in a dark place. So when he calls himself Dark Man X, I just feel like instead of trying to find the light, he followed the darkness and he embraced it. I never hear anybody tell any DMX stories that mean anything of any real value. I just saw Beanie Siegel did an interview. Somebody, they always do the same thing, you know. So what's your favorite DMX story? And Beanie Siegel basically told a story about how when he was having his battles or whatever with Jada Kiss, that he said a line where he connected like Jay-Z's name with something with a character that I think DMX played in the movie or something to that effect. That he said DMX took him to his house back in the day and all that. He said, but the moment that I remember is DMX rolled up on me by himself in Philly and was like, yo, something about, what you said about, Jay or this and that, whatever, but leave me out of that, all right? I don't get in that. Take my name out of it, all right? I brought you to my house, eat my food. We good? Yeah, we good. All right, and slid off. Again, it's always something connected to violence, something with drugs, something illegal. And I said, let me answer your question fully. Every artist I listen to, they just are artists that make songs. I wanted to know what it was specifically he was trying to ask me about DMX. And then the guy goes, well, you know what? That's part of what I was saying. Why I asked you, because he said, I listen to X, man, and I'm like, why is this guy always praying, but then purposely doing wrong? That's why I say, what are you asking for? Lord Jesus, I humbly come to you one more time, Lord. Lord, I'm not worthy of your services, Lord, but Lord, I owe you everything. I could never repay you, Lord, for the sacrifices that you gave to me. Lord Jesus, you gave your only begotten son because you love me. You love the world, Lord Jesus, that you created. Lord, we could never repay you for that. But Lord, I ask you to keep me in line, Lord. Lord, when you see that I'm getting ready to go off the deep end and do wrong, Lord, I ask you to step in and stop me, Lord. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. No, all that has to happen is a police officer drive by you and stop doing what the fuck you was doing. stay off the drugs, you be in your right mind and you won't have to do things like that. It's called maturity. It's called common sense. It's called self-control. You mean to tell me I have to pray to not do something that I know I shouldn't do? Lord, even though I'm married and I told my wife that I'm stuck at work, Lord, please don't let me stick my dick in this pussy. Lord, please. Oh, shit. Oh, Lord, why you not? Oh, shit. Lord, take my dick out. Lord, oh, shit. Mother, oh, shit. Lord, you not listening. Why is you letting me fuck this pussy, Lord? You know I'm married. That make any sense to y'all? Because that's what y'all sound like. All of that barking and loud talking and screaming and talking tough, let people know you're a joke. But you got people that you call a real nigga always calling another so-called real nigga a real nigga simply because why? Because they can relate to each other in a lot of ways. According to K Solo, at one time, DMX was a bitch ass nigga. He ain't want no smoke, loud talking ass nigga, don't want to fight, always just talking, roll up with niggas, pit bull, right? See, this is the only conversation I hear about black people. How is it a dude walking around with glasses on, flip-flops, long blonde hair, fluffy this shit, is calling you a joke? Calling these rap dudes, these so-called intimidating black dudes, dummies, uneducated, stupid, morons. Do you think that they're concerned? I might see this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar one day in the airport, and he might remember what I said. They don't care about that. They're making multiple videos calling him dumbass and everything. Where's the black community at that make excuses for scumbag blacks to step up and say, why you disrespecting this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar like that? Where's all of this anger? Where is all of this when I see you, it's on sight? I put these motherfuckers' faces up there because I wanted y'all to see. Oh, they called this motherfucker every name they could think of. Where's this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar's reaction? Other than, I must be doing something right because the fact that I got his attention, like, wow. Is that what we doing now? Same thing goes for Pac. I never heard any actual real Pac stories that meant anything. Everything was about violence or some stupid shit. Any of these guys. You know, why is it when a guy becomes a rock star, the most you might hear is, yeah, I remember when we was growing up, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and 6 of us, and my mom was working 2 jobs because my dad died and this and that, and so, you know, she had to go out and work, and you know we're kids, just doing what kids do, so sometimes we get in trouble, but we, basically my mom, she made ends meet, and you know, but even when I was in trouble, but I turned my life around. I found, you know, started learning how to play the guitar and everything. I took it serious, and so, you know, here I am, and yada yada yada, and all you get is right, because they're not in their songs talking about how they still push packs and get people high in their neighborhood. They're not out here talking about how they have sex with underage girls, how them and their friends gangbang a bunch of 15-year-olds. But you know what? Don't mean it didn't happen. But you don't hear it in their music, do you? They could be racist as fuck towards you, but they will look at you and say, let's look at your story and listen to my story, right? I just gave you an example of their stories, but your story sounds like, you know what I'm saying, I was coming up, I ain't know my father, so, you know what I'm saying, like, my mom had to work, shit, you know what I'm saying, to pay the bills and feed us, So niggas is like, yo, you know what I'm saying? When mom go to work, niggas gotta do what niggas gotta do, you know what I mean? So mom threw me out the house and shit, cause like I had drugs in the house. She found it and shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Police came looking for me. Yo, my ops came to the house. Yo, the niggas had guns, yo. So he's like, yo, tell your son, don't come downstairs. These niggas gonna get him. So like, you know what I'm saying? My neighbors hid me under the bed and shit. And like, you know what I'm saying? I'm hiding. So like, in case they try to kick the door open looking for a nigga, they opened the hallway window so they think that, yo, he probably went out the window. And, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yada, yada, yada. And basically, same rapper tell you that end up getting locked up. They start telling you about how old they did, why they got locked up. They start telling you about how the motherfucker that put them on was also the one that held them back. And like, if niggas don't put me on now, niggas got to do what niggas got to do. So you telling me that when you was 15 through 18 or whatever, you was out here doing things that showed your mom that she can't trust you. And now you walking around here all of 40-something, 50-something years old still talking about, you know, trying to not go to jail, trying to not commit crimes. This is where you are. They always saw you as a joke. They always saw them as nothing but a bunch of big mouth dudes that talk shit. You know, if this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar stand up for black people, I could take Chuck D, I could take KRS-One, I could take anybody that prides themselves in being a so-called teacher. Fuck your records and how much money you can make in records you sell. And trying to use your image to boost your ego, your profile and your ego. No, I'm talking like, fuck your temple of hip hop, man. No, fuck your temple of hip hop. I'm talking about educating these kids that's less fortunate. I'm talking about showing them a different way. They're not listening to your music now. You dudes are like damn near 60 years old. Some of them are. They don't care about what you had to say. We're talking about real conversations. And we're talking about, let me give you an example of something, right? You can't make these grown-ass people do anything. Even somebody's kid that's not yours. It's not about making them do it. But the influence should be there. Like, just say, for example, right? I had a dude say some bars for me one day, right? He ended up literally performing 3 songs in front of me. And I said, he asked me what I think. I said, let me ask you a question. All this killing you're talking about doing, who are you referencing that to? He's like, nah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I said, no. Specifically, when you say all of these things, who's popping up in your mind? Is it anybody particular? He goes, I mean, nah, I mean, you know how like niggas be. I said, okay, wait, stop. You said, you know how niggas be. Niggas, who are these niggas? Now he's trying to not say the wrong thing. He's trying to not fall into a trap. And I looked at him and I said, are you talking about white people? Are you talking about anybody that's not black, period? Yeah. Right then and there, it just hit him that he knows exactly what I'm asking him. And I said, so do you love anybody? Is there anybody that you care about? Oh, yeah. I said, right. You just won't put it in your music because nobody don't want to hear that bullshit, right? You know what, man? Real shit. It's like, I told niggas that, and I said, all right, stop talking to niggas and talk to black people. I got you. You know, and then he gave me a story. And I said to him, man, you're a grown-ass man. We dealt with the industry wants this, the industry wants that. right? The industry wants this. Fuck what I want. The industry wants that. Fuck what the people need. Because that's not where the money is. Now you see why I walked away from this shit? You know how you could take a simple line and people will go nuts for it? And in them going nuts for it, you know what you meant, they know what you meant, but it's a simple line. But you can drop truth, something factual. Why is it the only time people say, he know what I'm going through, I can relate to him, is when you talking about something negative? When you talking about struggle, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, struggle, I don't know my father, struggle, my mom was a drug addict, struggle. That's all they can relate to. I'm trying not to kill somebody, that's why I do this and this, so I keep my phone. See, that nigga know what I'm talking about, right? That's all they can relate to. You know, I give you a perfect example. Long time ago, I said a line in a song. You know, they used to call Jersey Dirty Jers. And I said, I'm the black lone wolf of the dirty, you heard me, and I'm way over your head. Can you see where them birds be? Yeah. Who's worthy? Urge me to get you wet up by a nerdy looking dude in the derby. What am I talking about? I get you taken out and I ain't even gotta be there. And I will send the nerdiest, most non-threatening looking motherfucker to do it. And I'll never be a suspect. And I sat back, because it's thoughts to everything that you're doing, right? And as simple as that is, and as simple as the thought is, that I can just, and you're gone. That shit went all over my body. And I said, yo, let me ask you something. This is the motherfucker in the studio, right? That was doing the record. I said, yo, if I actually killed somebody, right? If I just went out right now, somebody did somebody, and I took their life, and I came back and told you what I did, what would you do? And he was like, what happened? I said, nah, relax. I'm not here to kill you, motherfucker. I'm asking you, what would you do? How would you feel about it? Then the motherfucker said, man, I really just like it never happened as far as I'm concerned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit happened. So, you know, you trying to get out there and I said, all right, case in point. I don't like making these kind of records, man. I don't like the fact that we have things happen in these streets that we deal with, that we go through, and we put it in music. I don't like the fact that this is the only thing that get our people to want to show support and show interest. I'm saying, you produce these records, right? You mix everything down. This is all you hear every day. When you give advice to people, when you give pointers to people, is it ever anything positive? Have you ever said to anybody, hey, listen, man, you do what you doing, I hear you, but we need to change with our people. Our people need to hear some diversity, and they need to hear something positive in our music. Or you just sit back, take their money, produce the beat, just, hey, cool. As long as you paid, that's what matters, right? That motherfucker was just sitting there looking like these are thoughts he never had. He never really thought about it. I don't remember the time frame exactly, but I would say like I say it was over a year at least. Definitely over a year. I remember one day my phone rang. I see this strange number, and I don't answer strange numbers, but this one particular day, I was like, yo, the fuck is this, man? So I answered, yo, big dog, what's up? It's me, man. He started talking to me, and he said, yo, man, he brought up that night and said to me, yo, I needed that lesson you gave me. He said, well, I didn't realize I needed it until a couple of weeks ago. And then he told me what happened. And basically, he was in a situation where some artists that he had, that they was trying to get out. It's like when when independent, these guys have a studio and all they have, their artists they produce, and then they do shows, so they make their money, and they go out, they just keep it moving, right? Now, the reality of what happened was that's all he had. And one of the rappers that he had made a song, and in the song, he said something about another one of his artists that they used to be cool. He got wind of it, didn't like what he heard. There was a confrontation. It led to something. Well, the police end up coming, shut shit down. Shut the shit down. These motherfuckers got drugs in the studio. They got drugs in the car. Had a porno studio that they had up there doing illegal shit. Had some underage girls up there. And across from there, they had some dude. They was doing reggae music. And that whole commercial building got raided. Now, the thing about it was the guy that made the song talking about his boy. Well, he ended up losing his life. And then he had people coming at him because he like, yo, nigga, you know he was talking about me. You produced the record, nigga. Why the fuck? See, let me explain something to you motherfuckers, man. Until people stand up and speak against what's wrong and fight against what's wrong, we just gonna keep getting more to say. And I know that that's not gonna happen because these motherfuckers don't have no heart as long as they can benefit. Let's not forget Soulja Boy holding up that money talking about Kamala Harris ain't never put no money in my pocket, nigga. Obama ain't never put no money in my pocket, nigga. But Trump did. Let's not ever forget that. Let's not forget Snoop talking about which one of you niggas gonna perform for. Ain't none of you niggas gonna perform for. I'll be the one to perform for him, son. Remember that? I'm gonna roast one of you niggas. Yeah. Let's not forget these things. Because when these people, you see a lot of people can't see themselves being in a position to do certain things. So they speak against it. Then all of a sudden, guess what? We want your black ass to come in and sell out. How much you paying? I'll be the one to perform for you, sir. I grew up under that umbrella of each one teach one. That's dead now. It took this brother to be a part of what happened to understand what I was telling him fully. He got it, he understood it, but the importance of it. It took that to happen. Now you don't have no artists, you don't have nobody. The studio got shut down. Y'all under investigation, y'all in that court. You hoping you don't get locked up because maybe somebody did something that you knew about, but you just, who knows? And we talked for about 2 hours on the phone, man. Yeah, man, he just kept saying thank you and stuff. He walked away from this music shit. I'm telling y'all something right now, man. Rap music needs to die. It needs to go away. It needs to be forgotten. And if it's to be replaced, it needs to be replaced by music that means something. Even if it sounds like rap. If you want to call it new rap, who cares what? It needs to die because it needs change. The people involved need to go away. The people that make this music need to understand we're trying to touch people in positive ways. Why is any rapper that got bars only got bars when they're talking about murder, murder, kill, kill? I'll fuck your bitch in the ass, then make your mother suck it off. Listen to the bars that people say. What other form of music produces this kind of stupidity? Music need to be uplifting. These little kids that listen to music need to be able to sing along with something that's not detrimental or disrespectful. These little kids should not be out here being taught how to twerk. A second fucking grader shouldn't be telling her second grade friend, my boyfriend want to stick his tongue in my booty hole. He said he want to taste my booty. Where the fuck is these little kids learning this shit from? Yeah. And these so-called OGs will sit up here talking about, I don't think it's like the responsibility of every rapper to speak positive. I mean, you should be able to express your art however you want. What's the difference if somebody racist say, I got the freedom of speech? I can express myself however I want. So if I want to walk up to your little dark-skinned, black, crunchy, burnt-up, black charcoal looking daughter and tell her she got big flappy nigger lips and a big forehead and sound ignorant, I can't even understand what the fuck she's saying. Who the fuck are you to tell me I'm wrong? Because I should be able to express myself however I want. And I dare any one of you niggas to say, but that's different. No, it's the same shit. Every other fucking week, I see a video of a racist person on a racist rant, and I don't hear nothing from you motherfuckers. And if it's black people, when they're showing this shit, all they're doing is, well, you see, I don't understand. You see, this person is racist, and they, it's like, this is so sad. Why are people so angry? Like, why are you so, you're so angry at us, and like, why? Notice how calm they are, though, how confident, how relaxed. They're not worried about retaliation. They're not worried about losing their jobs. They're not nothing. But you black dudes, you black women, y'all sit there and y'all accept this shit. Y'all ignore it. You won't react to it the way you should. You react to it in a way of tolerance and hoping that maybe your smile or your presence can make someone feel different. Nah. Don't send your little tamed dog that you have home that just walk around, that you feed, that don't have a vicious bone in his body to go out and try to fight a wild pit bull. Your dog will get devoured. That's what you all have become. I see a black dude sitting up here trading Pokemon cards, and I noticed the motherfucker had a little gray in his beard, and I said, motherfucker, you sitting up here with the Pokemon One Piece on. A grown-ass man. Now, are you hurting anybody? Nope. But do you think that people look at you? Everybody that's coming to your comment section telling you they love the Pokemon suit, right? Oh, I love Pokemon, right? But they're looking at this grown-ass man like, this motherfucker really sitting here dressed like Pokemon. Aside from you fake gangbangers, that's the flip side. That's the other side of what racist people see. A bunch of nerds, a bunch of big overgrown kids, a bunch of sissy boys, a bunch of femboys, a bunch of black people that don't care about black people. Again, what do they have to fear? What? Call your babies niggas in front of you? Call them niggas? Call you a nigga? No, what happened to It's On Sight? Where are you tough ass wannabe tough guy rappers that always talk this shit? Y'all see these same videos and ignore them. Tony Yayo, beef never dies. Man, that's the problem, Tony Yayo. Beef never dies amongst black people. Get this shit right when you say it. So until the day Ja Rule die, one of y'all die, y'all gonna hate Ja Rule. Y'all gonna just keep this bullshit going, but you don't have anything to say. Y'all have no involvement with standing up for black people. No, it's all about, man, I just do what I do. Fuck these niggas, and we know it. That's why I'm like, fuck them niggas. I don't support their music, their movies, and nothing that they fucking do. This is where we are as a society, y'all. Don't get it twisted. If you ever went back and listened to this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar's music and look at all the things being said by him now, about him now, and look at how he made a fool out of himself when he went on that podcast talking about the flat earth, and then all of a sudden he turned on Godfrey and called Godfrey a fucking a traitor and all that. What I find crazy about this dude that calls himself Lord Jamar is one of the guys that was calling him names. Yeah, they kind of made peace and squashed it. Then all of a sudden he goes back and he makes peace with Vlad after saying, watch that this dude what's Godfrey is gonna go back on Jamar. He gonna go back to be back with Vlad and do all of this and that. And then Jamar went and did it. Jamar went and did it. After he said all of those things, that's what Jamar went and did. So, I'm going to forgive Vlad. I'm going to go back to Vlad. I'm going to forgive this white racist guy that was calling me stupid and all kind of assholes. But I got a beef with Godfrey. Right. See how that worked? And go back and listen to his music and look at his actions. And you see what I'm saying. This is why this generation, see, these white dudes and white women will sit down, listen to your music, strip everything down about you, and see the fraud that you are. Blow up your spot, nigga. What will it be? If it's beef that you seek, that ain't nothing to me. But I'm trying to cool it. Don't lose it. Nigga better recognize real. I ain't nothing to fool with. Oh! Fool, you foolish. You fooling yourself. We got enough heat to make your whole anatomy melt. And if you thought that was oh shit! Yeah. 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 That's what they love. That's what they love. And I remember telling someone, I don't target black people. This is all we live around. So when shit goes wrong, who is the person on the end of your wrath? Another black person. Black people will go from one neighborhood to another black neighborhood, but they run from cops. They don't roll up and do nothing to racist people. They don't roll up and do nothing to nobody else. One thing about me is I always had issues with drug dealers and gangbangers. So I really had beef with these motherfuckers for real. That's who the fuck I was talking about. Wasn't talking about just everyday people. Nah, that's who my issues was with. The problem was this was embraced. And nobody didn't want me to talk positive. They didn't want me to, because that shit fire. But the industry, he stressed from the best, the GS, yes, because it was called GSS, Guard State Shoulders, right? So soldiers. So when I said the GS, yes, how you spell yes, YES, see, little shit like that I would put in and people would sit, oh, the way you be, yeah. And I said, damn, they don't react like that for the positive shit. And the wordplay was sick, though, everything. Nah. Yeah. They like murder. They like that. Yeah. You talking about a man that came up through shit and understood this shit is poison. I walked away from this shit, yo. Why does that make you go crazy? He stressed from the best, the GS, yes, separated by, what I say? Something, that's how long, I don't even, do you know, I don't even, this shit is on record, I got records. I don't even fucking remember what the fuck I fully said. He stressed from the best, the GS, yes, motivated by blood, separated by death. We block runners running yours and tours is magnanimous and damages are fuel for fans to go bananas with. Back up and brace, foreshadow your face, then you wake up and catch another beating from jail. I mean, do you understand what I'm telling you? That's all the fuck, yo, yeah, right? And I'm like, yo, I used to sit there at dinner. You sit with these motherfuckers and I'm just looking around how I bet you none of these white people sitting at this table, families, listen to none of this shit. They won't let them listen to this shit. But if they feel they can make money off of you, let's do business. Just like when these black rappers get up and bounce and leave the hood because it ain't safe for me no more, right? I gotta go hide. homeschool their kids or put them in private schools, and they don't let their kids listen to this shit, not even what they make. Why? Because they don't want the influence, but they put that poison in your kid's system. Oh yeah. And nobody see this shit. So here's a guy that was a part of a legendary group that's being called dunce, dummy, dumbass, ignorant, uneducated, stupid. There's no one. I see you. It's on sight. There's nobody standing up for this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar, right? So let's say they disagree with what he's saying. I don't see none of these black people that's making fun of him make fun of any of the other white scientists, non-black scientists that other people disagree with. And I don't hear this kind of slander being thrown at them either. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So it's like these black dudes know their place. We can talk all day, talk shit about this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar all day, but we can't say anything about people that's not black because we might offend somebody. They might even have me canceled because, we only have the power to disrespect each other. Yeah. Murder on the stage that connect to the streets. I'm a beast. That nigga Pro keeps serving me beats. Yeah. Do y'all realize I sat down and listened to my own material, broke this shit down, and was like, I don't want to do this shit no more. Yeah. Got away from my own music. Got away from this genre. Always did poetry, right? So when I write some positive shit, say poetry audience is different from a hip-hop audience. Y'all call a motherfucker poets because they put words together that rhyme. But the contents, what are they talking about? Destructive behavior. You can write some shit. It's like a person can write a movie. You can play a character in a movie. Everybody know you're just playing a character, right? What would happen if, let's just say, for example, take the movie Django. If Samuel was like that in real life, didn't y'all hate the fuck out of Samuel's character in that movie? Imagine if that was really him in real life. Would you support Samuel's career? Imagine a person really being that character they're playing. No. Difference with music is y'all say it's art imitating life. I feel what he's talking about. So when you embrace killing your own people, when you embrace that negativity, what? Are you just saying it just to say it? But you scared to say, man, we just making music, it's art, that's all. I could put a whole album out talking about murder, kill. It's no different from making a movie. We ain't here to hurt nobody, man. We here to spread love. We, understand and support. Hey, parents, this is mature rated. Don't let your kids listen to this, and we're not trying to motivate them to go out here and do the things we talk about in these songs. It's just entertainment, and it's not for the kids. Because if you're making it for the kids, that's not what you should be doing. Because even if you admit we're just making movies on record, you don't want kids walking around repeating that language and repeating about, because the same thing with movies. I wouldn't let my kids watch any movies with guns and violence and cursing and swearing and nudity, none of that shit. I kept them away from that. I wouldn't curse in front of my kids. Yeah. It's amazing to me because nobody that really understands, very few people, they understand everything I'm saying. They see it, they feel it, they know it, but they just don't want to say it. People have an image to uphold. What? What is it about that image? What image you trying to uphold? You can't be real to agree with me, but then at the same time, partake in what I'm speaking against. You got to stand up for what's real, man. I can remember I did a poem. It was actually a song, but I did it in the form of a spoken word style, sounding poem. Made my mom cry, man. And it was about black people. It was about life, the struggles, and how we gotta dig and create our own light at the end of the tunnel. We can't follow anybody else's, path and sit back and settle for what people do and keep praying and crying for change. We gotta be the change. I just remember when I said that my mom was just sitting there smiling, looking, and just had her eyes closed and was smiling from cheek to cheek with tears rolling down her face. My mom used to do poetry. I used to have to sneak and write my raps because my father didn't let us listen to nothing in the house other than, some Bob Marley and fucking gospel, or Jimmy Cliff. Other than that, no, we couldn't listen to shit. And I remember the first time I heard my mom do poetry, that shit got my attention because I'm like, I ain't know my mom could do that. And what she was doing was like, damn, it rhymed like the shit I was doing. We was talking about different stuff, obviously, but yeah. My mom had that poetic gene. She had that poetic vibe. And I said, damn, that shit made me proud, man, watching my mom do that shit. Just the fact I didn't know she could do it. I never knew she did poetry. Yeah. So imagine you see your mom cry because her son did something so poetic, positive, and touching that it just touched her, not just because I'm doing poetry, but I raised him right. And then here you are, 16, 15, rapping for some motherfuckers that don't care about nothing other than if I can make money off this little nigga. Face to face with Wolf Fang. I'm fire, got the power to burn down your entire empire, to quench my desire. I'm feeling this crush, overcharged with the serious adrenaline rush. It ain't the Thames on my feet that make your tenement shake. I be the force on the earth that be making it quake. You ain't a blood or a crip, you a bitch. To make it simple, I put a slug in your temple to make you a bloody cripple. Or better yet, lifeless. If you like this verse, stick around, motherfuckers, cause the second was worse. My style is the bomb, if you swallow, beware. It'll blow up in your belly all over the atmosphere. Recite rhymes to the sky, they ricochet through the orbit. I could spill a million rhymes and still come up with more shit, and I can't remember the rest. I was a fucking young teenager. Yeah, right? Yeah, encourage this little young boy to write that murderous kill shit. And I woke the fuck up. I remember he had a show one night. It was just unsigned talent. This dude went go by the name of DJ Quad. They had this spot, I think it was called, a place called Club Crystals, I think is the name of it. And I wasn't even interested in going. The fellas like, yo, let's go through and chill, man. There's gonna be some honeys out there, motherfucker. Come back and, whatever, man. So, whatever, man. We go out there, we check it out. And I really went because, me and Quad was kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I helped him sell a couple of cars to some people that I knew. Shit like that. He older than me. Went to school with my older sisters and shit like that. And I remember we went to the show, man. And I didn't know this guy, but we met this guy that was there. I swear this motherfucker looked just like Martin Lawrence, man. And then he was like, yo, I remember you. And I looked, I'm like, oh shit. It was a dude that I had met when I was younger, about 12, 13 years old. And it turns out he was a comedian, right? On the come up. And I remember like him just basically was like, he always was just a funny, like every time we saw him, but that was like a little minute. So he had his hair cut like Martin Lawrence, but this time he had like a little baby fro, right? And we started talking, and there you go, cracking his jokes. But we was just chilling. And I remember, there was another guy. he had like this yellow shirt. I could almost say like a checkered kind of shirt. These like bright blue pants and these yellow boots. And he just stood out. And I remember doing like, yo, Rainbow Bright, come here, right? Now he just was cracking on people, but like not trying to like just go on somebody and keep cracking. He was just like, you know, like maybe one time just reference somebody a certain way, but everybody was like, yo, just laughing at him, and like they knew he was cool. He walked by high-fiving everybody. Everybody that night was just chilling, right? The same young dude that had on the fucking blue and yellow was too young to even be in there. We was too young to be in there. They let us in there anyway. And I remember that same dude was standing outside. I don't know what it is about clubs in black neighborhoods, but people love to stand outside while the fucking festivities is going on inside. And I remember we was coming outside, we getting ready to leave, and we just heard machine guns. This wasn't no pop, pop, this was oh shit, everybody running. Fuck, our car was right there. So we go to get in the car and shit. I'm like, yo. So we had, I don't remember these other two people's names. They came with us. They was friends of one of the guys that we knew, but I had like really didn't really know them that well. We got along and all, of course, but like I don't remember their names. But I remember we was going in the car. It's like, nah, hold up, man, because we heard a car peel off down the street. So we drove down to the corner. Same young boy with the blue and yellows on the sidewalk. Dead. He ain't had nothing to do with what happened. Got hit in the crossfire. And I remember that shit hit me so hard, man. Like, yo, why this had to happen to this dude, man? Yo, that shit enraged me, man. So anytime that I was encouraged to keep writing this murder, kill shit, I was like, yo, fuck that. I'm not doing this shit no more. I just got sick of it, man. Because through the years, you start really understanding that if you make it, and everybody get used to you doing this, right? The second you do something different, people gonna be like, nah, he fell off, nah, he changed, so now I gotta keep going with, you know, I got the formula, I know what I need to do, I know what my intentions was, but my shit was directed at the drug dealers and gangbangers. But guess what? Even though that's the case, it's still all in the same ball of wax. Black people, and my thing was more of a warning. And what will happen, and then there's shit that did happen. But you understand what I'm saying? All I see is us black folks. I went to a show one night. This dude called himself SOS, Son of Samurai. This other dude called himself Sea Bear. We go to this show. All white neighborhood. The folks the name of that town. All white neighborhood. All of them lived in trailer parks. This guy called himself Son of Samurai. They lived in like a mini mansion. Every one of them motherfuckers was fake. Do you understand me? Fake. The guy that called himself Son of Samurai was standing up here. Yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, real shit. Yo, I remember back in whatever year he said, I'm listening to this motherfucking club, you know, this rap mixing night and shit. I hear this motherfucker, and he said the line and go, motherfucker go by the name of KRS-One. Like, yo, man, that motherfucker changed my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause of him, I got to this rap shit, yo. Word. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing about me, I'm positive, but don't fuck me because I'll fuck you up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And I'm just sitting up here looking at this motherfucker like, I'm getting turned off by the second. I see this motherfucker. He's working. How are you, Mrs. Jones? How are you? Oh, hey, yeah. This and that. Well, you know what? I'm going to put in the call. We'll be with you shortly. There's refreshments over there. You guys can come and sit and wait in the room there. As a matter of fact, you know what? Take this. This is your ticket. When we call your ticket number, that will light up. But someone will come in with you because we want to get you in and out. We know that you ever. And I'm looking at this motherfucker like, wow. Wasn't the first time. I had seen him before that shit. And I looked at him. So when he saw me, hey, how are you, guy? I'm like, what's up? No, I'm saying, yeah. I'm shunning Shamawa. Yeah, exactly. Let me get up here and do my impersonation of how I see black people. And let me pretend to be something I'm not. This dude that called himself Seabear, I hear him rapping. His father, we all worked at the same job at one point, and his father was telling me, and I feel like he's wasting his time because this stuff he's talking about is not even him. My son grew up doing opera. This motherfucker, he was embarrassed. Motherfucking father showed me, no, I'm like, oh, okay. Listen to his earlier raps, and he just rapping normal. I ever tell y'all that story? Then this motherfucker stole DMX style. Y'all can't stop me, but y'all gonna hear me. Y'all can't stop me, but y'all gonna feel me. And I'm like, where this shit come from? Yeah, stole DMX shit. And I said, damn, you see how motherfuckers like to steal our culture? Like to steal our swag, what we talk about, how we talk about it, and pretend. Oh, black ones do that shit too, fake ass motherfuckers. We know that, but I'm saying, just think about it. You come from a fucking opera singing background. Grew up in a trailer park. This other son of samurai guy, motherfucker, you grew up Wharton, New Jersey. That's where. Wharton, New Jersey. You grew up, motherfucker, you ain't never had to worry about nothing. Had the pants sagging, bopping, you know, shit. Oh, he's at work. This motherfucker is a complete Richie Cunningham, Chachi from fucking Happy Days looking nerd. But I gotta act black. I'm not just gonna go do my song. I gotta act like I'm, you know, the way how I see black people. KRS-One, that motherfucker guy. I'm just looking at this guy like, wow. Yeah. And that was like the second time I saw him since that show. At that point, and I just looked at this motherfucker and I said, man, y'all are some bitches. Y'all better never come anywhere where somebody really living that lifestyle and y'all talking that shit. But then again, black people ain't gonna do nothing to them. Nah, they got the right complexion. They're not gonna do nothing to them. Now, if them motherfuckers was black and in the same situation, that'd be something different. And I just remember the things that I experienced and the things I saw. And I said, you know something? I'm a smart guy. I don't have to be rich to be happy, to have fulfillment. And if I got to get rich by putting poison in people, then I won't. Not if I got to do it through this. I wasn't doing it so much to get rich. Now, with boxing and with music, I knew that I could have been easily. But I'm not an industry guy. I'm not a pet. I'm not a puppet. And I will wind up doing something to you. So it's, let me just, I've heard stories. I've seen certain things where the so-called tough guy rappers got thrown out of clubs, like physically thrown out of clubs, punked, yelled at, dismissed. Do y'all remember that time when Irv Gotti and Ja Rule had got into some shit with some guys, and Irv and them was, yo, listen to this. Remember how yo, chill out, relax. Remember how he was jumping in their faces? And what happened? Murder, right? I'm just saying, no, where was where was all that? Yo, Mr. Gotti or Mr. Rule? Nah. Yo, relax, chill. Nah, yo, right? No. This is what I'm talking about, yo. Once I understood, like, there was a dude that I used to go to school with, a dude named Rajan, man. I can give y'all so many stories, man, but everybody thought this motherfucker was so tough. I remember I told him one day, he had a fight. There's a guy that I knew named Kasim. He still lived next door to me. And they was back and forth. Kasim got the stick, got the bat, he got the stick. They chased each other up and down the street like some Tom and Jerry shit. Like literally just, all the thing was missing was the music and the shit and the sound effects. And I'm just like, wow. And I remember this dude Rajan was talking about it like it was some big deal. And he was like, yo, y'all little niggas, this and something. I said, oh, let me cut you. I'm not Kasim, Rajan. I'll fuck you up. I'll fuck you up. Like right here, right now. Don't get it twisted. That shit was between you and Kasim. I ain't had nothing to do with that. But I will fuck your little skinny ass up here, right now. Try me. No, I'm just saying, like, you're not, nah. I don't give a fuck what you talking about with them. Try me. I will fuck your little skinny, ugly ass up. And I know that what happened one time, and I was like 12 years old. Had a friend named Keemy or whatever, Lakeem, whatever his name was. These niggas like 17, 18. So somebody, just skinny motherfucker named Roy Uzzle Roy, went and told this motherfucker some bullshit that I was talking about. Me and one of my cousins, you know, used to come out with the gloves and shit. We, you know, whatever. I didn't really like spar with these motherfuckers because I knew they wasn't on my level, man. But although I had hands, feet, elbows, and knees, man, all that shit, I never was like no bully or trying to flaunt my shit. So I used to play with motherfuckers. I wasn't really, you know, whatever, like that. But when we in the ring, with some other motherfuckers that's really official, hey, we gonna go at it. There's a couple people I had to punish, though. Let them know. Watch your mouth. But for whatever reason, and me and this dude, Roy, as far as I knew, we was cool. Roy decided to make up a lie and say I was talking shit about this dude, came in my backyard, we playing ball, we hooping, we at the park, shit like, you know, but this particular day, this motherfucker, yeah, he's 18 as a matter of fact, 18. I'm in the 8th grade, this nigga a senior in high school, right? But he was, yeah, Roy told me you, whatever the fuck. So I looked at him, I said, hey, Keemy, you be in my backyard almost every day. If I had a problem with you, I wouldn't have brought you in my backyard. 2, if I had something to say to you, I would say it to your face. What would I tell Roy for? Right? Yo, whatever. I said, Keemy, ain't nothing stopping you from coming over here some space. You got a problem with me, right? So you want to do something, we could do it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be your fucking funeral. But you doing all that talk from there. I'm right here. The dude Rajan came up, and before he came up, his brother John, and this dude named Chris and this dude named Dale was kind of on the street. They was like, yo, come on, man, kill that, dead that, man. They was trying to like squat. Nah, I remember saying, yo, this and this and this. And the dude Rajan like, nah, I think he said it. I like, oh, who give a fuck what you said? You got screws and bolts in your face now. You don't need to get punched in your fucking face. My boy Terrence is like, yeah, cause I, you know, he started like, he's like, yo, fuck these. I said, oh, nah, I'm looking at this motherfucker. I remember, I'm just trying to really understand, like, what this is really about. Because if this motherfucker said I said something about you, and you see me, and you don't say nothing, you just all of a sudden, well, damn, we chilling, I'm at this dude's house, and now, you know. Why wouldn't you come and, you know, respectfully come talk to me, right? I'm trying to, and mind you, I'm like 12 years old. Yeah, 12 or 13, because I was in the 8th grade, getting ready to go to the 9th grade. So, like, this was in the summertime, because my birthday in March, I was 13. This nigga 18 years old. I looked at this motherfucker, and I'm like, wow. Like I said, I'm really trying to understand what's going on. Well, this motherfucker, he ain't do shit. Like I told him, ain't nothing to separate me and you with some space. He ain't walk his little black ass over there, did he? Nah. The other thing was this. When I saw this motherfucker later, and I'm talking like, because this was like, now I'm 16. And I remember a dude I used to chill with named Brian, his brother James, used to call Stinky. I remember he was like, yo, man, Lakeem said this and this. I said, yo, I'm going to fuck with Lakeem. I said, yo, I tell you what. Tell your boy Keemy, right? And I was in there with his uncle Jason. Now, Jason younger than both of us, but he's the nephew, the uncle of this guy Stinky and James and Brian. So I was like, you tell your boy Lakeem, I said, I'll beat his little fucking ass anytime he want to. Stop telling you shit. All this nigga need to tell me is, let's go. And I will meet him and I will beat his ass. I will break his little fucking ass, right? So now, fuck chill. Stop playing fucking games with me. All right? Because I'm not joking. Fuck your boy Lakeem. You know, now he, right? And I know he told him what I said. I see this little motherfucker and I'm staring at him and shit. He wouldn't even look at me. Okay. See, this was one of these things where every time a situation happened, I would try to process this shit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is wrong with black people? Why? And so everything was a learning experience. Even if I couldn't see a picture fully, first time, I get it the second time with that. I started, but I understood that you can't trust motherfuckers. You got to be on your square at all times. People that bully and punked other people could never do that shit to me. And when a person can't get their way and their ego tell them they should be able to, they don't like that. So I grew up with the mentality, like I was molded into I got many walls, but I stand alone. And I don't need not one motherfucker to do shit for me. And people respect that always because they know who and what I really am. Whereas it's always the fake ones that want to try to act tough. And I remember, like I told this motherfucker one day, I said, Razan, you always try to act like you so tough. I said, motherfucker, I was there when that Italian store owner told you he'd beat your fucking ass and your bitch ass. Tell my brother, nigga. Tell your brother, you a bitch. And I was trying to provoke him that day because I wanted to beat his ass and he didn't want to fight. And it wasn't to prove nothing to nobody. I just didn't like the motherfucker at that point. But he talked all that shit behind my back. And I remember one day we were hooping and somebody saw me one day and said, God damn, you swole as fuck. Yo, I didn't know you was that damn big, man. I'm like, yeah, and like, nah, yo. Them niggas better be glad that y'all didn't fight. Then people start telling the stories about shit that people used to say behind my back and how, yeah, all of a sudden now they don't want to fight no more. Because you know when you 12, you not, you know what I'm saying? That now you 16, 17, you done, oh shit, now they don't want to fight no more. But you still a minor, they grown. And I realized how pussy these motherfuckers was, even when I was a teenager. But it's like you get maturity, you get that understanding, that knowledge, and you realize like, yeah, these motherfuckers is pussy. Let me tell y'all this. Black people, I love my black people. White people, not crackers. Spanish, Latinos, Asians, wherever you from, I love and embrace good-natured human beings. I don't respect coons. I don't respect racists. I don't respect sellouts. And it's best that you keep your fucking distance from me. 2, stop making celebrities your heroes. You remember Leroy from The Last Dragon? His sensei was trying to tell him the whole time, the master that you seek is within the one place that you refuse to look, and it is only there that you will find it. That's inside of here, and inside of here. That should be your hero. That man and that woman that you see every time you look in the mirror. We work on ourselves to become the best people that we can be. Okay? Okay? Be the GOAT at being you. None of these people are heroes. None of these people or no thing is worthy of praise. Nobody is any better than you. Black people will not have what you call so-called leaders anymore. Jasmine Crockett stands up against Trump and what he's doing. I don't know her as a person. I just know that her fight against Trump's administration and what he's doing, she's coming at him. But everything that I see just looks like entertainment for the cameras now. Not that she's not sincere with what she's trying to do, but I mean, I just don't see anybody giving a damn. And it's nothing but for people to just come on their podcasts and in their YouTube channels and talk about what they saw. But there's nobody standing up for blacks, for our rights. Ever since I can remember, we've been fighting for the same things, trying to get civil rights, equal rights, everything. Nothing has changed for the better that somebody didn't come along and try to reverse and turn over. And now, a fucking tangerine racist in a suit is fucking this country up. And I seen Willie D, different people, make videos saying it's over for Trump. He's like about to get impeached and talking about what he's done, but it's like, nah, Willie, I wish you was right. But remember something, this motherfucker had 34 felony accounts before he became president. And I told everybody then he's still going to be president, even if they have to cheat with the votes, because the second biggest prejudice to black Americans is a female being in charge of anything powerful, anything really meaningful. And let's just be real. You see what happened, don't you? Oh yeah. Every time I think about anything, and I can remember anything, it's always the damn. Black people have been just of this mindset to be crabs in a barrel and to not stand for anything. Y'all think I sit here and take the time to make these videos because I don't have anything else better to do? That I'm not trying to touch y'all and wake y'all up to bring awareness to what's actually really happening in this world? I don't give a fuck if I have 4,700 subscribers and somebody else got 75,000, 100,000, 70 million. You want to know something? What I'm doing is necessary. And it's sad because we don't have enough of us. And that's why you can always, I'm going to tell you how you can spot a fraud. Because even what I'm saying, you got other people that have channels and they're like, yo, he's on point. But you know what they won't do? They won't like and subscribe and spread the word. You know why? Because they want to say what they want to say, but they want to be in a position to be looked up at too, as like, I look up to this motherfucker. Yeah, you know, yeah, they on my channel following me because I'll bring the... No, they don't align themselves with people of the same struggles and the same fight. So I try to wake up my black people. The niggas don't want to be saved. The niggas want to be niggas. Let them niggas go ahead. Like Mike Tyson told y'all. Why you got a problem with the word nigga? I want to be a nigga. I'm a nigga. Nigga. Yeah. And y'all bitch asses sat there and ate it up. Mike Tyson, who voted for Trump, and y'all still eat it up. But it's crazy how y'all sit here and claim y'all can't stand this motherfucker and anybody associated with Trump. Then y'all remember Tyson's one of his boys, Teddy Riley, Lawrence Taylor, and y'all out here with all these greatest of all time debates and arguing over these motherfuckers. They don't care about you. They don't care nothing about you. Yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to put this out here. And this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar went from being a prominent brand Nubian member to one of the biggest jokes on the internet. Nobody respects this dude. And all this pro-black talk, but you forgive the two white guys, but won't speak to your black brother in Godfrey. Which is exactly what I said about so many other people. And y'all know who they are. Y'all know a lot of the stories and y'all see it. So all of this pick and choose shit and who's a good guy, who's not, man, nah. Once I see what you're made of, that's all I need to do. So now I'm not going to make 20 videos about this guy that calls himself Lord Jamar. But what I am going to do is make sure that I speak the truth in everything I say. And if you guys, you know, take that ride with me, you take that journey with me, people know who I am. And let me say this to end this video, right? To the homie, to the homegirl, to the precious love Arlette. When you told me that you went on that channel of that guy that made that comment about unsubscribe because you told him that, you know, to basically cool off with all of this personal hate against black women, against Clarissa. Like, what are you doing, right? Don't be shocked. You know what you should do? Exactly what he said. Unsubscribe. And you want to know what that should let you know too, sweetie? Aries know what the fuck he be talking about. This is what these motherfuckers, this is what they do. You see it. You're an intelligent, beautiful black woman. You know better. That's exactly what these motherfuckers are. His hatred for black women, for black people, impedes his ability to show any class, to show any, of all people, here's a motherfucker saying she has no class and this motherfucker's a Sambo sellout, right? So yeah, he told you to unsubscribe, right? And I'm telling you right now, that's what you should do. Because this is what these Sambos do. They're not here for you. They just got the same complexion. They're here for their massa. That's what they're here for. They're not here for you. They're not here to be told the truth. They're here to control whatever narrative that they can make, that they come up with, that they want you to accept from them. Yeah, and when you pull up the facts, it's like I said, did you see this fat, bald-headed, dusty beard motherfucker come up and say, you know what, y'all, I was wrong. Clarissa was the first woman to make $1 million. The first female fighter. No, those are facts. And I remember in the conversation, I don't give a fuck how much money these motherfuckers make. I'm saying, look at these motherfuckers. The fact, let me tell y'all something. The fact that he went out of his way to call her a liar, there she go lying again. Everybody coming in his comment section, that black bitch, blah, blah, blah. All you see is him hitting the like button. Oh, he liked these comments. Okay, cool. This motherfucker knows what the situation is, right? If that motherfucker did his homework, he would know that he's wrong. No, he doesn't come back and apologize and let his people know that he was wrong. Nah, he don't give a fuck. And the people that sitting up here in his comment section on his channel don't give a fuck. So you don't want to be a part of that group. You don't want to be a part of that. You don't want to be in the mix of that. That motherfucker said that shit to you because that's how he really feels. I'm not here for this black fucking woman. I'm here for all of these fucking racists. I'm here for these coons and monkeys. That's who I'm here for. Yeah. Because like I told you guys, right? Her fight was on the 15th of October, 2022, and theirs was in April 30th, 2022. They didn't make $1 million until their third fight. Clarissa made it her first fight with Savannah Marshall. So yes, she was the first woman. And I remember the conversations about it. So again, here's a motherfucker out of the loop. But let me just talk some shit and attack this black woman because I'm just a bald-headed fucking coon. Fuck that motherfucker. That's all. Don't feel bad. Don't feel hurt. Don't feel nothing. But I'm glad I found out about this motherfucker. And see, you, what do you call himself? Real talk boxing, you said? What's real about what he's talking? You see what I'm saying? People can sit up there and come up with all these little cute, fancy names and all that shit. Don't mean nothing. You know what he is, and you shouldn't want to be associated with him. Hit that motherfucking unsubscribe button. You know what you should do? Curse his ass out first. Just tell him you a sellout, bald-head bitch, and then unsubscribe. Because real shit, it's a waste of time. And I told you, I found out some things about a whole lot of these motherfuckers. This is why I'm like, man, fuck these people, man. They, you know, like I said, this is a handful of them that's cool. But for the most part, nah, they're a bunch of fucking sellouts. They're a bunch of monkey-ass, ass-kissing motherfuckers that don't do nothing. For the record, fellas, y'all want to eat ass and y'all want to do all that, you know, toe sucking and all that. Do that shit to your fucking woman. Do that shit to somebody who enjoy it. That's going, yeah, that appreciates you. Yeah, that's going to do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, as well. Yeah, don't be a fucking a figurative, you know, a fucking figurative ass licking, boot licking, toe sucking bitch because nobody respects you and you don't stand for nothing. So I always say, only time you gonna see Aries doing some kissing some asses if I'm being intimate with a woman. Other than that, nah. So don't let that motherfucker get to you. He ain't worth shit. That's why I stopped watching that motherfucker shit. Because in the beginning, I seen certain videos, and then the more this motherfucker talked, I'm like, man, this motherfucker's a coon. And I never, like, went on his channel, not one time to, like, oh, let me find some videos of his to enjoy. Nah, his shit used to pop up in my feed. And then when he started talking that crazy shit, I was like, hold up. Nah. You know, we all have different opinions on things, but you know, when you don't have any morals and you don't stand for anything and you don't stand for your own people, nah. I don't stand up for niggas and coons and monkeys. I stand up for black people. That's who I stand up for. I don't stand up for crackers. I stand up for good people. So if you white, if you Latino, you whatever, I don't stand up for spics. I don't stand up for racist, ignorant idiots. Remember that idiot that said Trump is the closest thing to God, right? And they deported her ass 2 days later? Yeah, good. Fuck her. They should have sent her stupid ass back home. Good. Why should you be mad? That's where you from. You're home now. Yeah. I don't stand up for people like them. And y'all shouldn't either. But that's the whole thing. Shit. Just like what Chili said, what she said, just for the record. Any TLC song that was in my motherfucking playlist, nah, fuck y'all. And fuck you, Chili, because Kick Your Game was my shit. You had to go fuck it up, you dumbass sellout. Yeah, that was my shit. Fuck her. Nah. And that's how I am. Once I find out that you a piece of shit, nah. Fuck am I? Nah. Oh, but I just like the song. Yeah, yep. Dope ass song. Fuck that song. Fuck TLC. Fuck Chili. T-Boz, whoever the fuck's around this motherfucker. Yo. Once you find out what somebody's made of, man, you got a decision to make. And that's why I pull myself away from that. Only be your own hero. Don't worry about these motherfuckers, man. Once you find out that somebody's not official, skate. Skate. Here's a black man gonna tell a beautiful black woman that unsubscribe just because he's letting you know I'm a coon and I'm not gonna stop being a coon because you want me to. No, I'm obedient to my master. And let's always remember something about that slavery shit. One of the words that Woody Lynch said, right? We have to make them 2 words, fear and love us. They don't love or fear us. No, this is a one-way street. And even still, that's a stupid ass way to live, right? But they want to get us to fear and love us, right? Turn that black woman against her husband. Make her the decision maker and make him afraid of what's going to happen to him if he don't listen to us, and let her be his influence and encouragement to make him feel like, hey, you better listen to me. Yeah, and even in those times, just think how long you black motherfuckers been fucking begging to the sky for fucking freedom, praying for change, huh? And nothing's changing for you. Yeah. And that black woman fear, let's use that to motivate her, to motivate that black man to not resist. That is vital. And this bald-headed coon shows you that that's who and what he is. He's a person that's going to continue to be a sellout, monkey-ass coon, because, hey, what do you expect? Don't give him your attention or your time. He's not worth it. That's all I got for y'all. Catch y'all on the next video.